Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1998 Represent. On this episode, we're taking a look at the feud between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. So, this is kind of in lieu of a movie episode. We're doing a TV show episode because a lot of this took place on WWF Raw is War, as well as various WWF pay per views throughout 1998. The feud did start in 1997, so I guess it started kind of like close to or at WrestleMania 13. There was a match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret the Hitman Hart, and it's one of the kind of more iconic moments, at least in Stone Cold's career, where Bret Hart has Stone Cold in the sharpshooter. Stone Cold has been busted open. There's blood just pouring down his face, and Bret Hart's got the sharpshooter on, but Stone Cold is not tapping out. He's not submitting to the hold, and it's one of the most iconic moments, at least in his career. I think in wrestling in general. And they did this kind of double turn in that match where Stone Cold kind of entered the match more as a heel. Bret Hart kind of entered the match more as a face. And in the middle of that match, the roles kind of reversed. And after that, Stone Cold was more of a face, and Bret Hart was more of a heel. And it just kind of really elevated the Stone Cold character quite a bit. And the year before is when he coined the Austin 316 catchphrase at King of the Ring in 1996. So this feud, basically, like this character building had been going on for like a good year before that. Before not a good year, but like a good 8, maybe 10 months, because King of the Ring is in the summer and WrestleMania is in the spring. But that match with Bret Hart really kind of elevated Austin to a different level. I think in 1997 he actually legitimately had a neck injury, and I think they were trying to work it into like some of the storylines or what have you. And the feud of Austin or with McMahon started kind of toward the end of that year, where I think in kayfabe, from a perspective of that we're going to like do this for your own good. You're hurt. We don't want you to get take on further injuries. But Austin took that stun, hit McMahon with the Stone Cold Stunner, and kind of kickstarted the feud that way. And now leading into 1998. By the way, I think this is one of my all-time favorite wrestling feuds, as well as favorite wrestling storylines. I don't really know where I rank it, though. I know it's definitely probably top 5. I think if I can just name some off the top, there's obviously the Austin McMahon feud, the NWO, basically the start of that storyline. It kind of like ran out of gas a little bit after it started, but I think there was for a good year or two, the NWO was an awesome storyline in WCW. In more recent memory, there's the Bloodline. Great feud there. Like I said, I don't have a WWE Network account anymore. I don't really watch it. But whenever I go on YouTube, I check up the highlights, and a lot of them I'll generally watch whatever the Bloodline highlights are. So Bloodline, easily one of the best storylines in recent memory. I would say the Summer of Punk was really good, where it was the whole thing with him and John Cena, the Money in the Bank, the pipe bomb promos, and all of that. And I'm not really sure what else I would say. Like maybe some stuff with the Shield. The Shield when I first got back into wrestling in 2014 was kind of a huge thing. So I kind of definitely have a nostalgic spot for the Shield as well. But back to this feud. So like I said, the Stunner heard around the world happened in 1997. Then going into 1998, we were Stone Cold was in the Royal Rumble, won the 98 Royal Rumble, which gives him an opportunity at WrestleMania to fight whoever the champion is. At the time, it was Shawn Michaels. And I think this is when Shawn Michaels actually took on a legitimate back injury, and I think it was in a casket match with The Undertaker, I think. Or I don't remember exactly what the match was, but I know he went out of the ring. I think it was a casket match, because I remember clips of it where he clips his back, his lower back, on the edge of the casket, and it really messes his back up. And I remember there were thoughts and maybe that even HBK wasn't even going to show up at WrestleMania. I remember basically they kind of they were worried that just that match maybe wouldn't even happen, or that Shawn Michaels was just going to not do what he was supposed to do. I'm not really sure exactly, but anyway, in that match, Austin ended up winning. But this is when Vince McMahon started putting kind of roadblock after roadblock after roadblock in Stone Cold's path. I remember they brought in Mike Tyson as like a special like enforcer for the WrestleMania title match, kind of as a way to kind of, if it comes to it, to basically screw Stone Cold out of winning the title. Um, Mike Tyson ended up turning on Shawn Michaels in that match and then ended up counting the pinfall for Stone Cold. So Stone Cold Steve Austin won the title at WrestleMania 14 in 1998. And the rest of it, I need to actually get my notes out for it. So let me see. Royal Rumble 98, we got that. After this, they made a new title for Stone Cold. I think, if I remember correctly, it was the Smoking Skull Belt, where it was basically just a skull with like smoke coming out of its eyes. It was really cool looking. Stone Cold got that title. Vince McMahon basically like presented it to him, but basically was saying like, "I don't like your behavior, like like tone down your behavior and what have you." And then is met with another stunner for his troubles, basically. And McMahon at this point wanted the title off Austin, so he was basically putting him in matches he was likely to lose, or would basically put him in just not so great situations. I remember in King of the Ring 1998, he put him in a match with Kane in a First Blood match. Kane ended up winning the match, but it was basically due to Undertaker interfering and actually busting open Stone Cold, so that started a feud kind of with both Kane and the Undertaker as well as part of the Austin McMahon feud. One great thing about this feud is like, even though it was Austin McMahon at the center of it, the other like supporting cast, if you will, were all really getting cool stuff to do. So Undertaker, in this case, Kane. Remember they brought Mick Foley in for a match prior to this, where he was fighting. Well, Dude Love was who he was fighting in that match, and that was prior to this one. But like I said, Kane won the title due to Undertaker's interference. And then, kind of like to add insult to injury, they did a match where it was Kane versus The Undertaker, and Austin made, or not Austin, Vince McMahon made Stone Cold the guest referee for that match. Kind of like, you're going to be close to the title that you just lost, but you're not going to be able to win it because you're going to be the one that's actually refereeing it. And then, kind of as a screw you to Vince, Austin just basically refused to do the referee job and didn't count the match for either Kane or The Undertaker. Let's see. Another iconic, we're going to then, and that was, I think, the last time that Austin had the title that year, I think, because it got vacated. They did a tournament that The Rock ended up winning at Survivor Series in 1998 when he kind of joined up with the corporation, which was Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and I think like Big Boss Man was in that, I think, and what have you. Another iconic moment is definitely wouldn't be able to be done now, but is the I'm just gonna call it the Bang 316 moment, where Stone Cold shows up at the arena. He's dressed in like has like hunting gear on, like camouflage hunting gear. Gets Vince McMahon into the ring, pulls a revolver on him, pulls the trigger, but it's the classic little like toy gun where a flag comes out, rolls down, and says bang. But of course it says Bang 316 because it's Stone Cold. Another iconic moment, which you'll see right over there, is the Zamboni incident. Because I remember like Vince was surrounded by like police officers. Stone Cold drives a Zamboni out, and then basically like climbs on the Zamboni because he can't get in the ring normally because it's surrounded by police officers. Climbs on the Zamboni, jumps over into the ring, and just starts attacking Vince. It's one of the more iconic moments of that feud is him jumping over, attacking Vince, and then getting arrested, basically getting pulled, like taken out of the show in handcuffs, which is another iconic just Stone Cold moment. There's the attack in the hospital where where Vince is in the hospital and you hear off screen, it's like, "I'll take it from here, nurse," and it's Stone Cold. He comes into Vince's hospital room, starts punching him in his injured leg, hits him with a bedpan. Another just classic, iconic Austin versus McMahon moment there. We have, I don't remember exactly when this happened, but there was an incident where Stone Cold brought a cement truck into the arena and was basically put the spout into a car and started pouring cement into presumably one of Vince McMahon's cars. I remember you could actually see the car filling up, and then the windows kind of just explode outward that way because of the concrete just pouring out of them. Another like classic moment there. And this feud ended up carrying over into 1999 throughout the Royal Rumble. There was a St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I think that's what it was, where Paul White, and then they eventually named him the Big Show, showed up. And, just more iconic moments of that. The whole higher power thing was in 1999 as well, where it was like, it's me, Austin, it was me all along. That classic moment there. So definitely some carryover from the previous year into 1999. But again, one of the most iconic wrestling feuds / storylines of all time. Like I said, it had I love when you have a good wrestling storyline that has maybe like just a few people involved, but then you have those people involved dealing in other areas, or they're wrestling someone else, and the storylines kind of cross over. Like, for example, with the Bloodline, you have Roman Reigns and the Usos, but then you also start involving Sami Zayn, you start involving Kevin Owens. You have Paul Heyman in there, you bring Solo in, and basically everybody that's touching that feud is just getting elevated by that. So I think with the Awesome McMahon feud, you had, of course, Stone Cold and Vince, but then you had Kane and The Undertaker involved. You eventually get The Rock involved with it as well as part of the corporation. And then you even bring in the whole ministry thing later on in the 1999 part of that feud. So again, one of the most iconic storylines, easily in my top 5 for wrestling, all overall wrestling storylines, probably of all time. And that's probably going to do it for this video. We'll be back again in a few days. We'll be doing another video game, and we'll be back on our regular schedule after the kind of Super Bowl episode was a special episode. So this episode would have been our movie episode. So we're doing a movie / TV thing. We'll be doing a video game episode next time, probably followed by another album, and then followed by another movie, and followed by another video game. But that's going to do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.